occasionally. Some of you, this is going to be a repeat of things that you've heard me talk about before, but I think it's important to have it at the beginning of AppCamp because I think it's a valuable context for us to keep in mind over the next couple days. For the past few months, I've been involved in a collaboration with the Fred Rogers Center at St. Vincent University and the Erickson Institute and some various others, trying to construct a framework for defining and describing quality in children's digital media. We don't want to duplicate or recreate any of the other work that's already been done and is going on, and there is some great work that has been done in this area already. Parents' Choice, Children's Technology Review. There are a number of people who've come up with some really great rubrics that we are trying to build on and with, not instead of or duplicate. But there are two reasons why we're doing this. One is that we feel like there is not yet any overarching rubric that would offer guidance toward making, finding, and using the best media for the context. And the second is, so in other words, we want to try to reach producers as well as parents and educators. The second is that the process of doing this we feel is going to be as important as the outcomes, whatever they may be. That it's already given us a wonderful reason and context in which to contact experts in media, education, child development, research, and a number of other fields. What we've found out already that it's not easy. So the question becomes, why are we doing it if it's not easy? And by the way, my organization, the American Center for Children and Media, is all about service. So I'm going to save you some keystrokes. I have prepared for you recommended tweets to send out along with this talk. Pre-written for you, all guaranteed to be in the appropriate number of characters. They're going to pop up here, and if you go to the Duster Magic wiki, dustermagic.wikispaces.com, and sign in there, they're all there. You just have to cut and paste and send them on out. Back to why we're doing this. In the long history of media content for kids, there have always been debates and disagreements about what defines quality. And the lack of agreement on this question of what quality is has, I think, led to exploitation from all sides. From the time of the Penny Dreadfuls to audio, to radio, to comic books, to music, onward to TV and to digital media today, groups or people have been really eager to exploit, or really eager to caution parents about the perils of hours spent with media. Wasted time, moral decay, learning delays, violence, obesity, ADHD. You see just a couple of the examples here going back quite a ways. And at the same time, creators and distributors of children's media have always been quick to proclaim what great benefits it has. Every recent platform development, from television to color television to computers to the internet to tablets, has been marketed first to parents as a breakthrough for their children's learning. And too often those promises disappear once the technology becomes embedded. Oh, children's programming, yeah, we did that when we needed to sell more television sets, but now that it's here, we'll back off a little bit. Or it's been accompanied by marketing claims that aren't really supported by the research. Now, we're here to talk this weekend specifically about mobile devices and apps, now really sort of in the center of the spotlight in children's technology learning and the debate around children's technology learning and play. For some, there's a feeling that these are the greatest things since sliced bread, and that the features and affordances that enable even the smallest children to explore, express, create, manipulate, play, grow, that all those things are inherent in these devices that are coming out now. Please note that the sliced bread in this image is a nice whole grain loaf, because ultimately the loaf isn't so special if the ingredients are low quality. And that's another camp when it comes to kids and mobile media. This group, this middling mush group, looks at the tens of thousands of apps that are in the store right now that are designated as being for kids, and they see mostly Wonder Bread. They aren't eager to cede their kids or any kids' time to drill and kill in inconsequential tapping, But at least they acknowledge that there may be potential there, that if you use the right ingredients, there's something good there for kids. Unlike our last group. There's always a voice in the debate that feels that sliced bread only provides more surface area for mold and believes that kids' time is ill spent with screens or devices of any kind. It does feel frustrating, I can speak, I think, for a number of us around this table who talk about this often, that these three groups don't share a common vocabulary or a set of common values by which to debate or try to shape best practices. There's your next suggested tweet. So, what have we learned so far in this process of trying to define quality? At a January roundtable to kick off the project, we saw a piece of video with Fred Rogers talking about the etymology of the word ecstatic. It literally means outside of the static. And Fred's words remind us that child development remains constant, even as the context around how children develop today shifts wildly. We asked the people who came to this conference in January what 3 words they would use to describe quality in children's media. Let's take a look at what they said in a word cloud and note how many of the words that came up often are very child-centered and related to the fundamentals of healthy development. Your next tweet. We've also begun to look at the needs of our various audiences so that the framework can be applied by all 3. As I mentioned, the 3 audiences: educators, producers, and parents. And I think we're discovering quickly that trying to reach all 3 of these audiences is the choice that we made that's probably made this more difficult than any other. Obviously, parents are trying to find the best content for their particular and unique child. That's always been one of the challenges, is you want to know what's right for your child at the stage they're at. You don't, if your kid's 2, you don't care about what 4-year-olds need. You want the information for your child. Educators are seeking media that supports the specific curriculum at the moment, and content creators need touchstones, questions that they can ask themselves at key moments during the development and the production process, just to reassure themselves that they're staying true not only to their own creative vision, but also to the needs and the abilities of their audience. You'll see that there are common elements in what I've just mentioned. The use of age and stage as a starting point, but it's not an all-defining point. And also the need for advice that considers the context of the use as much as the content or the platform. And finally, the need for just-in-time guidance. Something else we know. Quality and educational are not interchangeable terms. We've all seen educational media that's done with terrible quality. I think the kid on the left there probably has just encountered one of those educational programs of poor quality. And all of us celebrate and want to encourage really high-quality entertainment. When I come home at night, I don't always want something educational. I often want pure entertainment, and I expect there to be really good quality entertainment for me. Why should kids expect anything less than that? Also, obviously, we know that education and entertainment are completely inseparable. We also know that all media educate, and that the question is, are they doing so intentionally and are they doing so positively? And tweet. Now, in the interest of time, here are four more underlying principles of our work, and I'm going to go through them very quickly. All screens are not created equal. The different screens that are part of kids' lives today each offer unique opportunities, benefits, and challenges, both for content creators and also for the people using them. For parents, quality in a piece of media that you want to use to calm down a child at the doctor's office may be very different from the quality of media that you're looking at in a game that your child is going to play and return to over a long time. Second, what is included defines quality more often than what isn't included. It's really important not to exploit violence or stereotyping or negative role models, but the mere absence of those things doesn't define quality. In fact, in thoughtful context, you can imagine how they can provoke new thinking as long as they're handled very carefully. Next, focus on what goes in, not what might come out. It's my opinion that children's media gets itself into trouble most often by overpromising, suggesting that it can promote smarter children, earlier reading, or maybe, as Robin was just showing, whiter teeth. A quality framework is going to help creators express what went into their work, the goals, the intended audience, the technology choices, and then it's going to let parents and educators decide if that particular product, program, app is right for them. And finally on this slide, context is crucial. Not every program, app, game, or website can fulfill every value that we'd like to encourage. Some of you may remember the bad old days of children's television, when every program revolved around a group of kids who got together for some purpose, and every group of kids had one white kid, one black kid, one Latino kid, one Asian kid. For good luck, we'd throw, or not good luck, for good balance, we'd throw in one in a wheelchair. Kids saw through this instantly. They knew that their lives didn't look like that. And in today's world, it's even more obvious. The geographic and cultural borders are being erased very quickly, and kids will look at this and they'll reject it even more quickly than they did back when it was first in vogue. So sometimes we're learning quality has to be evaluated across a body of work, whether that's a channel, whether that's a suite of apps, whether that's a set of websites, or across a child's media diet. Are they getting the diversity that they're looking for? Are they getting all the values that you're looking for across all the things that they're using and playing over the course of time? As opposed to, and give more leeway for individual stories or settings. Here, to me, is the biggest thing that we know. Whatever we create, it has to be flexible and it has to be welcoming of innovation. In the past, too many organizations or researchers have created rubrics that establish a box of attributes and put the works that meet those attributes into their box of quality, and everything else gets left outside. The only effect of this we've discovered over time is regression to the mean of what's been successful in the past. If people value that box of quality the way you rate it, then they'll just try to meet your criteria as opposed to trying to do something new. Recently, just at this conference that Warren and I were at in Toronto, I heard a senior public broadcasting executive saying, "We're not budgeted for risk-taking." That was one of the most discouraging things I've heard in a long time. If we don't take risks, then we've got no potential for unlocking the potential of new devices, new platforms, new genres, new content, or taking kids to new places. So let me ask you, please, to tweet a call for innovation. A call to arms for innovation. Ultimately, our framework is going to look a lot less like a chart or a guidebook or any set of rules or anything like that, and it's going to look a lot more like a Rubiks Cube. The rows, columns, and facets will represent the parent, the educator, the producer's considerations as to the content, the intent, the context, and the user. And guidance is going to come from twisting and matching all these facets until they meet the particular needs of the parent, the educator, or the producer. At our January meeting, one of our workshop participants described it as being like Zappos. She said, "Why can't I just put in what size I want, what color I want, what style I want, and it gives me all the possibilities?" So I think that's the Rubiks Cube model. That's where we stand for now. Here are some resources, and those two are on the Duster Magic Wikispace site. If you want to follow up, either to read more about what we're doing, or to connect up and send me your thoughts on defining quality, but I look forward to talking with you about it over the next several days. And also on there, you can have more if you like the picture of my friend's kid in the toy box there. There are more. He's been doing that since the kid was born, and there are some pretty amazing pictures out there. Hey.